Welcome back to the channel. Today we are unboxing, which is easily the heaviest item I've had in the workshop so far. It's the Triton thickness out. It's the first time I've had one of these, so let's get to unboxing this, shall we? Okay, standard bump, instruction booklet, look like a couple of magnets, not sure what they're for yet, possibly changing the blades perhaps, grabbing the blades, you don't have to touch it with your hand, so instructions and magnets. Oh, we've got a handle, which is probably for winding down the height. The obligatory packaging material. And this bad boy. Let's put this on the floor and get it up. First thing you notice is you take it out of the box is you've got this great big metal handle that looks like a handle, but there's a sticker on both sides saying do not use roller as lifting handle, use hand grips, which are on the side. So don't pick it up on this. Looks like a dust extract port. Yeah, which is going to go in there somewhere like that, isn't it, somehow? Oh, let me throw that away. It's got a screw at the bottom of the bag, 2 screws. Make sure you don't throw those away when you're getting your dust port out of the bag. We've got some sort of Allen key screwdriver there. This could be the easiest unboxing ever. Okay, the bed has a plastic cover, protective cover on it. Now, your hands are going to be very close to the cutting blades, so be really careful when you take this off, because if you hit those cutting blades, you are going to know all about it. They're going to be really sharp. So the plastic is really difficult to get off while you have these side guide rails in place. So I've taken one of these off. It's just got 4 Allen screws in. Now, as you can see, it gets stuck underneath the guide rails. This just lifts up and comes out. It makes life a lot easier for getting the protective coating off. Okay, taking the actual bed out of the machine to get the plastic off makes it a lot easier. And it just slides back in underneath this lip here. We take the plastic bit here and that goes back on here, and then we secure it with these 4 Allen bolts. Let's give it a wipe. Get that bed really clean. What we don't want is any oils being transferred onto a nice expensive piece of timber that you may put in there. A couple of storage things worth mentioning. The hex key, the Allen key that comes with the machine, that gets stored in here. And the 2 magnets for changing the blade, they get stored there. They can just sit there, but if you give them a push down, it forces them into the holes and it's less likely you're going to lose them. Incidentally, the instruction manual makes no reference to these magnets whatsoever. While we're on the subject of the instruction manual, this thing here is a little bit light on information, to say the least. It is very sparse. Triton, if you ever watch this video, you need to give a bit more information. You need to do a better job of this. While the information in the instruction manual is not very good with regard to setting up the machine, it does have some interesting and very valuable information with regards cutting, depth of cut, etc. Let me just talk you through some of these. Workpiece capacity, minimum maximum dimensions, minimum thickness 3.2 millimeters, minimum length 381 mil, minimum width 18 mil, max width 317. So the maximum width it can cut is 317 mil, which is 12.5 inches, just over a foot. And I believe it can go up to 5 or 6 inches. I'll get to that information in a minute. So you can't cut anything less than 3.2 millimeters, and you shouldn't cut anything shorter than 381 millimeters. The maximum amount of timber you can cut, so your max depth of cut, up to 5 inches, 125mm, 2.38mm, so don't be taking anything more than 2.38mm off something that wide. From 125mm to 3.7, that goes down to 1.6. Obviously the roller heads are going to have to work harder, they're covering a larger area, so the machine and the motor is going to work harder. So 1.6 from 5 inches up to 12.5 inches, and up to 5 inches 2.38mm. In terms of dust extraction, this machine pretty damn good. It comes with the attached dust extractor, which you can fit to the front of it to extract left or right, and the same with the other side. You can fit it left or right, so you can have this discharging on all 4 corners if you want, and it's fitted by using the 2 attached bolts that come with the unit. So using the hex key that attaches, that comes with the machine and attaches up there in the clip, you can just fit this with the 2 screws. Now there are a couple of checks you need to do when you get a new thickness out. The first one is obviously to make sure that the beds, the in-feed and the out-feed beds, are the same height as the main roller bed beneath the cutting surfaces. Because what you don't want is for this to be up in the air, because then you'll have a gap. Now to get yourself a straight edge, I'm just going to use a 4 or 5 foot spirit level. See, this one, it's got a bit of a gap in the middle, but the top bit and the back bit are completely level with the bed. Now that surprised me. I thought that was going to be out a little bit. Didn't expect it to come working perfectly. I'm so lucky. That was perfect as well. However, if we assume that there is an issue with it, it's so easy to fix. So if you do have an issue, you need to adjust it. If you look at the bottom, each corner has got an adjustable nut here. It's got a locking nut here, which you'll have to loosen off, and then you can just adjust this nut up and down as required to change the height of the bed. And then when you've got it at the desired height, lock the screw down the locking nut again, making sure not to adjust this in the process. Another check you need to do is to run some timbers through the same height. Say you've got a bit of X 3x1, if you can run a length on the right and a length on the left, make sure that they're perfectly square before you put them in, and then you'll be able to take dimensions if you've got a caliper, digital caliper or something like that. Take a dimension on each side of both. So the one on the left, check it on the left and the right. The one on the right, check it on the left and the right, and the dimensions should be the same. If not, you may have to adjust the roller inside. I'm not going to do that in this video because it's a bit of a faff and it's going to get really boring, and the video is probably over 10 minutes long at this point anyway. So here we are in the outside garden, the outside workshop. You can see my daughter made a snowman yesterday. It's been snowing the last few days. The last thing I want to do is make sure that it runs smoothly. So I'm going to spray some anti-friction dry PTFE lubricant on here, let that dry, and as soon as it's dry it should be nice and slippery, and it should stop any sort of oils or gunk or anything from sticking to there too badly, and then we're ready to go. Okay, we're giving the can a good shake up, give that a liberal coating. Okay, I'm going to be running 2 bits of timber through this. First is a bit of softwood. This is just a bit of batten, and as you can see, it's rough as your old boots. The second bit is just a bit of hardwood. I've got no idea what hardwood this is. However, one thing I do know is these timbers are old. I don't know the history of them. There could well be nails, pins in there, etc. I haven't got an electric, I don't know, a meter to decide whether or not there's metal in it, because the decent one's about £100, and you know, I've got better things to spend my money on. So what I tend to use are rare earth magnets. Now this is something you must do. This is a brand new blade. I don't want to be replacing it after my first cut. if you get yourself a rare earth magnet, just plonk it on and just move it up. You'll have to, you know, better to use a big one. If there's a nail or a pin or something in here, it'll fly off and it'll find it, and you'll know that there's a bit of metal in there. So I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes just taking this very tiny rare earth magnet over the top of this ball to see if there's anything that's going to bugger up my pins. It's got very dark now, my phone died, I had to recharge it. Got to put your goggles on. Hopefully this is still light enough for you to be able to see. It's snowing again! That feels as smooth as glass. That is really, really smooth. A little bit of snipe at the end. You can see that, you expect that from a planer like this, but you can get around that by putting a sacrificial piece in. A little bit less snipe at to the rear. But you know, first cut, I don't know what I've got to do to get rid of the snipe. I'm sure I can work out something. But that, I'm really impressed with. Let's try the hardwood. No idea what timber this is. You can really see the snipe on that one, can't you? It took it a little bit off the top and the bottom and nothing else. That is pretty good. There's a couple of rough bits. That would still need sanding. Obviously it struggles with a harder wood. It's still really good. I mean, overall, I'm happy with that, but you have to sand it. I've seen people doing reviews of these thicknesses that said, oh, you don't need to sand it, it's so smooth. I mean, that is super smooth, but it still feels, you know, like when you raise a grain on a chopping board when you spray a bit of water on it. It's not quite that bad, but and I can feel the snipe at the front and at the rear at both ends. So what planer doesn't have a bit of snipe? Overall, I'm happy with this. Looking at the machine, it's got instructions here, tells you which way is up and down. 1 revolution equals 1.6, is that and 1/16 millimeter. And the instructions: do not use roller as lifting the handle, use the handle grips, which are these grips on the side here. The on and off button is here. Got sort of a warning sticker here, a depth gauge here, which obviously raises and lowers as you wind the handle. You have the attached hex key there, and the 2 magnets fit into these 2 little slots. I'm very happy with the planer. I can't, the thickness, I can't fault that at all. I bought it from Yandles. I'll give you a link to their website where you can purchase one. I've also ordered one of their planers as well, so that's on order, but it's on back order. There's about 100 of them in the waiting list to be delivered post Christmas, so I'll do a review of that. This thickness that I'm going to put on a rolling base, and I've already started actually making that rolling base, so I'll be producing that video shortly after this one. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a new viewer, please remember to hit that subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much, and I'll see you shortly. See ya.